no props necessary today. I did hit record, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we last throughout the thunderstorm. And let's find, so any seat, any way that you want to sit that feels good for you, let's just come onto our mat and become fully present. Our word for the week, today's the last day of the week, but our word for the week is forgive. So don't forget, if you do Virgin Pulse Points, and I think you email that actually to Riley, and the word is forgive. That gets you 50 points. It's the whole month of July. So let's start to work into our breath here. Taking a nice big in breath all the way in through the nose. And as you inhale, lift the crown of the head, or the very, very top where your crown would sit, all the way up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, keep the height and the length, but settle into the pose. Think about relaxing into this shape. We'll take about 5 rounds of breath, just like that. So on this first one, just tune into your body and what's going on with you. On this next one, think about what you need from your practice. Now becoming fully present on your mat. This next one, we're going to let everything go. Whatever you don't need for the practice, just let it melt away. It'll be there for you to pick up when we're done. I promise, if it's important. And then on this last breath, set your intention for your practice. What is it that you came to your mat to achieve today? Beautiful. Let's go ahead and hinge from the hips. So root down through your base and take a nice little hinge here. You can bring your arms to your knees if you like, and then just slightly turn that left shoulder down, look up over the right shoulder. And then let's go back the other way. So coming back through center, and let's go to the other side. So just twisting so that that right shoulder comes down, you look up over the left. And back through center, and let's take an even deeper hinge here, folding down, melting down. Let the head hang heavy, your fingertips come to the mat. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. I don't know, you guys, there's something about yoga in the rain. It's my favorite thing ever. Let's go ahead and walk the hands all the way back as we lift up, sit up. Go ahead and pull belly button in towards spine. Bring fingers behind you and open up the heart here. Maybe drop the head, lift the heart. And then come back through center. So let's keep warming up through the spine as long as we're sitting here. Let's change the orientation of the feet though. So whichever leg is in front, just switch it so that that leg is behind and the other one is in front. Or if you have your legs stacked, it's the opposite one on top. We're going to take a side lean over here towards the left. So left fingertips come down. If you're really, really stretchy already, you might come down onto your forearm and reach all the way up and over. And then look up underneath that elbow. So I want you to really peel that arm open. And then let's go to the other side. So we're going to bring that right hand down and lean. So it's okay if one side is not as bendy as the other. That's pretty normal. Look up. Beautiful. Back through center. We're going to go back over one more time. Maybe this time you get a little bit more length out of it, a little bit deeper into the pose. Push this opposite hip down to the mat. And then inhale all the way up and over. Maybe looking up, maybe looking down. It's up to you. Perfect. Let's find our way all the way to our tabletop shape. So hands and knees facing the top of your mat. However you want to get there is okay by me. A whole bunch of construction dust on my mat. So hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So before we begin, I want you to pull belly button up and in, create a little bit of space in that upper back so it bows out a little bit. Put a little tiny bend in your elbows, and then press into the mat, tuck chin in towards chest, tailbone comes down. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift tailbone, drop the belly, lift the heart between the gateway of the shoulders. So just rippling through the spine like that, like an ocean wave. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. And then inhale, lift. Perfect. Take as many more here as feels right for you, working with your breath. We're going to take about 3 more rounds before we move on. And then we're going to work into a little bit of core strength. So from that nice neutral spot, walk your feet or your knees a little bit closer towards each other. Walk the hands so that they're right underneath the shoulders. That'll help as you're starting to build this base. Zip the belly up and in, tailbone reaches towards the heels, and then float your right foot behind you. So if you notice your right hip wants to come up, just pull it back down. And so that it's nice and even, you could put a glass of water right there and it wouldn't fall. Most of us are going to hang out right here. This is perfect. You're getting that core workout. If you want a little bit more, you're going to extend that left arm long. Now, I like to flex my foot as if I'm planting that foot on the wall behind me, and then reach the fingertips long. Zip up that belly, push out of that right hand. And then left hand comes down to the mat, right knee comes down to the mat. Let's go to the other side. So the left leg reaches behind you. Again, if you get that little hiking up of the hips, just squeegee them back down. And then the right arm reaches long, right next to the head. So your bicep is by your ear. Push into the mat, lift up. This is great for back strength. Perfect. Right hand comes down, knees come down. Keep your knees together. Sit back on your heels, and let's take a little child's pose here. So maybe your booty rests right on your heels. Maybe you don't quite get that deep, but I want you to drape your body right over the legs and bring the forehead to the mat. So we're creating a lot of length in the back of the neck, and let the forehead just kind of fall forward. All the skin on the face falls towards the mat. And the hands can be wherever the hands want to be. Taking a few breaths here. We've been working into the hips a lot this week and this month because hips are great for stress relief. Opening up those hips is good. We're going to keep doing that. Let's walk the hands forward. Rock yourself back up through that tabletop, and then we're going to step this right leg right next to the right hand. So you can slide that left knee back. My arm is right up against my leg. Knee pushes into the outside of my right arm. And then from here, you can just sink the hips down perhaps. And again, if you're feeling a little tender through the hamstring or the hips, this is intense enough. Maybe if you want a little bit more, because this is intermediate, we'll lift that back knee off the mat and maybe use your toes to find a gentle rock back and forth. So only advance when you need it. There's absolutely nothing to be gained by taking the most advanced posture if you're finding what you need in the first step. Beautiful. All right, we're going to walk across our mat here. So lift the left knee off the mat, and then just use your hands to walk towards the long edge of the mat, or whichever way makes sense to you so that you can still see what's going on. Turn your toes so that they're slightly in and the heels are slightly out. You can walk your feet a little bit closer together if that feels good for you, and then just melt down between the legs. So I want you to focus on the outside of the legs here. So root the pinky toe side of the foot into the mat, lift up on the arch of the foot, and let the head be heavy. So if you don't need your arms to balance you, you can just come to a little rag doll here. Good, we'll take one more breath. So whatever else you have going on, just let it go and be very present here on the mat. Hands come down, and then we're going to continue our travels to the back. So turn your left toes to face the back of the mat, and then come down into that low lunge. Left hand is inside the left foot, and then maybe hang out right here in this low lunge. If you did it on the other side and it felt right, you can float that back knee and maybe rock back and forth. That will also work into the wrists. Good, and just a nice gentle sway here. Perfect. So wherever you are, go ahead and walk that left foot towards the middle of the mat. Keep that right knee off the mat. The back heel is pressing up, and then we're just going to come to our crescent warrior. So root down through the mat as you lift the arms all the way up, reaching up. If you like, you can sweep the arms around behind you, interlace the fingers behind you, and maybe draw the knuckles towards the floor, pulling the shoulders open. So then squeegeeing the hips. I don't know why I keep using squeegee today. Squishing the right hip forward, the left hip back, and open that heart. By now that back leg is talking to you. You're really feeling it. Beautiful. Release the hands, lift up, turn towards that long edge of your mat. Heels come out, heels come in, toes go out. Find your way to your first goddess pose of the day. So we'll sway side to side here. You can bring your hands to your thighs or your knees. Nice. And if you like, you can take a little twist here. So finding stillness in the feet, turn the left hip or the left shoulder down and look up over the right arm. Press into that left knee, open it up. And then back through center. Let's go to the other side. Turn, right shoulder down, left shoulder up. Find that stillness. Look up over the left shoulder. Good. Come back through center. If you need to, you can walk your feet closer together. We're going to stack the shoulders over the hips and sink down into the middle. Now, hands on the hips is a great place to start. You want to pull that belly up and in and tailbone down. Maybe hands come to heart center, or if you're feeling really frisky, you might reach those arms out and press away. Nice. So this is not an easy shape. Beautiful. Bring the hands up as you stand up, straighten the legs, hands come to heart center, all the way down. Close your eyes, take a breath. We're going to keep traveling. So turn towards your right. Let's find that crescent warrior on the right side. So your feet are hip width, bend that right knee, reach the arms up. You can hang out here, or if you did it on the other side and it felt good, maybe wrap the hands around, interlace the fingers, peel the shoulders open, and press the fingertips towards the mat. Nice. Very good. Okay, we're going to release the hands all the way down to the mat. Let's step back into our tabletop, so hands and knees. So you decide how far you want to work into the core today. Hands and knees, perhaps, maybe hang out here, or if you'd like, you can come to your table or to your high plank here. Zip up the belly, and then push up and back with the hips, downward facing dog. One big long line here. Good. We're going to rock forward, find our way either to that tabletop or to the plank shape. So I want hands to be about shoulder width. Knees are going to come down for this first one, and then lower between the hands all the way down to the mat. On your inhale, lift the head, heart, and shoulder, and take a little back bend here for your baby cobra. Lower all the way back down to the mat, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So that's your modified vinyasa for today. So we're going to do it one more time. I'm going to show you the next step just in case. So we're gonna roll forward, find your way to that high push-up. Either hang out here or push forward on the toes. You can bring the knees down if you like the last time. Lower halfway down, and then inhale, scoop up with the heart, and then exhale over the toes for your downward facing dog. Perfect. Look up towards the hands. Let's take about 5 steps, teeny tiny little steps, all the way up towards the hands so the feet get behind the wrists. Maybe grab onto big toes with peace fingers and melt between the legs. Look between your knees or close your eyes. You can bend your knees here to get a little bit more length out of the hips. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then inhale for a half lift. Straighten the legs if they're not already. Look right down below your nose. Release your fingers. Sweep the hands nice and wide and come all the way up. Press palms together at the top. And then draw them down the center to heart center. Take a nice big out breath here. Inhale, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Zip up the belly. Good. All right, sweep those arms nice and wide. Reach all the way up. And then exhale, fold straight down. Beautiful. Inhale, half lift. Left leg is stepping back. So right leg is forward, left leg is back. This time, plant that back foot down. So you're really sealing that foot and lift all the way up. Find your way to your warrior one. So your knee is forward. Beautiful. If warrior one isn't for you, you can come back to this crescent. And then from here, we're going to wrap the hands around behind, interlace the fingers, and maybe fold forward. So halfway forward is kind of level 1, right? If you want to come a little bit lower, you're going to slide that right shoulder down by the right knee and drop the head. This is called hero or humble warrior. And then let's lift all the way back up, release the hands, reach up, hooey, find your way to that crescent. Nice. And then both hands are coming down. We're going to spin forward again. We're going to do a lot of this spinning today, so try not to get dizzy. Your toes are slightly in, your heels are out, melt down between the legs. If you have more room now, you can reach out and grab onto the outsides of the feet and melt. Beautiful. Let's find a half lift. Turn your left toes to the front of the mat. Step your right heel out, your right foot out as we turn and find that warrior one facing the back of the room. We're all getting a different perspective of life today. And then go ahead and sweep the arm behind, interlace the fingers. If you have a lot of opening in your shoulders, you can come to reverse prayer behind you. It's the same shape. You just need more room to move there, and it's tougher on the wrist. So whatever works for you. Squeeze the fingers down, bend into that left knee, and then hinge forward, maybe just looking down, floating over the thigh, or if you have more space, left shoulder comes down, hands reach up overhead-ish towards the sky. This is where it's really handy to have a shiny surface so that you can see where your arms are. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and release all the way up, reach up. So we're going to open up into a warrior two. So heel toe that left foot towards the middle of the mat. The right foot stays right where it is. Maybe slide it back a little and then open up. Left arm reaches out, right arm reaches out. One long line. Relax your shoulders. Beautiful. Sink a little bit lower. Perfect. Left hand comes to the, or left elbow comes to the left knee, right hand reaches up. Beautiful. If you like, and you have the space, you can slide that hand down to the mat. Keep that leg bent, reverse all the way up and back. Now we're coming into our triangle shape. So straighten that left leg, reach behind or for the back wall, and then bring that left hand either to your shin or the ankle, maybe the floor, and the right arm goes back up. Nice. Warrior two, bend the knee. Ooh-wee. Hands come to the hips, straighten both legs, turn your toes out, heels in, sit down. Let's find that goddess again. Now, if it takes you a minute, you can absolutely use your hands on the inside of your knees and maybe slide a little side to side. Otherwise, we're coming to our goddess shape here. Beautiful. So we're going to reach the arms nice and long, and we're going to slide the left hand down. If you're super stretchy, a lot more stretchy than me, you might bring that hand all the way down next to the ankle. Otherwise, you're just going to bring it down right about the middle of the thigh. Right arm is going to reach up, just enough to open up through this right side. And then inhale and exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale back through center. And then one more time each way. Don't forget to sink nice and low here. And the knees are pressing back. Right arm down. Beautiful. Back through center, hands on the hips. Ooh, that feels good. Straighten the legs. Let's find that warrior two. So right toes face what was the front of the mat. Bend into the knee. Reach your arms nice and long. You guys are going to be all kinds of stretched out here. Reverse. So flip the palm on that right hand. Reverse. Let's find our way to our extended side angle. Elbow comes to knee. Left arm reaches up. Maybe slide that right hand down. If you have to fold forward to find this shape, just back out of it a little bit. It's better to back out than to go further than you should. Let's reverse. Straighten that right leg. Find your way to triangle pose. Reach forward, hinge from the hips, and then float the hand down. So kind of like just like what we did with our goddess. Beautiful. All right, both hands come down. Either side of that right foot, we're going to step back right into our downward facing dog. So both hands on the mat, step back, upside down V. Hands are shoulder width. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Maybe come up and down on the toes, bend the knees. Find your way to your version of down dog here right now, and then hold it. Then find stillness for the next 3 breaths. Push away from the hands. Zip the belly up and in. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. Beautiful. Take a look up towards the hands. As many steps as it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward fold, top of the mat. Melt down over the legs. And then inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Press palms together at the top. Hands come to heart center. All right, we're going to step back with that left foot. Left foot reaches back. Find your way to your crescent warrior. Hands can stay at your heart because we're going to do some balance here. So it's entirely up to you. I'm going to keep my hands at my heart. If you want, you reach them overhead. That's more core work. So from here, we're just going to hinge forward just like we did before. Reach down through that right heel, fold over the right leg, and then float that left foot off the mat. Once you have that foot even with your hip, you can straighten that right leg. Maybe reach the arms out into a T shape. Nice. If hands are at heart center, it's the same thing. Now we're just going to open up the hip here and maybe extend that right hand down to the mat. Finding Ardha Chandrasana. Bend into the right knee. Step the left foot onto the mat. Ooh, you fall over. We'll look out over the right hand. We're magically back in warrior two. I don't know how magic it was. Sinking down. Not so magic when I fall out of it, but we all fall at some point. Just forgive yourself and move on. Sink a little lower. Both hands come up, straighten the legs, turn toes out, heels in, sit down into your goddess. Ooh-wee. I told you we were going to open hips today. So sit down nice and low, and if you want a little bit more, pop that right heel off the mat. Place it down, pop that left heel off the mat. Nice. Place it down, sink a little lower, pop both heels. Nice. And then we're going to find power pose. So keep those heels off the mat. Reach the arms up, straighten your legs. Hoo-wee. Nice. And then we're going to settle into warrior two, other side. Left toes forward, bend the knee. Take your time getting there.
Nothing to be gained by hitting it sooner than you need to. We're going to go backwards now, coming into our Ardha Chandrasana first. Bend into that left knee, bring your left hand to the mat, and float your right hand or right leg off the mat. So open hips first. And then from here, you're going to float that bottom hand off the mat. Bring both hands to heart center, square off your hips. This is functional balance. Perfect. Bend the left knee, step that right foot back, reach the arms up. Crescent warrior, take a nice big in-breath here. And then hands come to heart center, step forward, top of your mat. Close your, back of your mat, I guess. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, hands to heart center, and take stock with where you're at right now. Good. Notice what's going on with your practice here. We are almost done. Go ahead and reach the arms all the way up. Look up. Sweep the arms nice and low as you fall over the legs. Beautiful. We're going to step back with that right leg. Right knee comes to the mat, and then sit back into your half split here. So stretching out the back of that leg should feel kind of good. Nice. If you have more room to give, you're going to walk both hands to the outside of that right leg. Keep that right or left leg. Keep that left leg glued right where it is, and then that'll increase the stretch here. Beautiful. Both hands come down. Both feet come down. We're coming into one more forward fold. I'm going to hop my feet back. And then if you have the space and you can get your head all the way to the mat and that feels good for you, we're going to the beginning of a tripod headstand. So the forehead or the head, crown of the head comes down. The hands are down just in front of and outside of the head. And then this is where we stay today. Now, if this does not feel good for you, you can just bring your hands underneath you. Walk your feet a little closer together. It's totally fine. But if you're in your beginnings of your tripod headstand and you want to start to play around with coming up onto the toes, just feeling how that kind of feels, you can absolutely do that. Otherwise, just kind of hanging out here, hands underneath the shoulders, all levels, offering all kinds of stuff. And then we're going to keep walking all the way to the back of the, or front of the mat, I guess. And then bring that left knee down and sit back into that Ardha Hanuman, that half split. So nice flat back, zip the belly up, push the hips back, melt down over the legs. Take about 3 breaths here. Good job, you guys. Not an easy day today. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to either side of that front foot. Step back into your downward facing dog. Last time in your dog, your arms are about shoulder width. Your fingers are splayed nice and wide. You're gripping into the mat with your knuckles and maybe the heels pressed towards the mat. Lift the tailbone up. Look between the thighs. Roll forward. Find your way to that high plank, whatever high plank you like here. Maybe the knees are down. That's totally okay. You can be here, or you can be all the way up here, lowering down into your version of your chaturanga or push-up, maybe coming all the way to the floor today, and then lifting up into your version of your up dog. And then perhaps, if you have enough with all this arm stuff, pushing back into your child's pose or into your downward facing dog. It's up to you. And then we're going to all meet in child's pose. Knees nice and wide, big toes touch. Sit down between the thighs. Bring the elbows to the mat, hands in prayer overhead. Fingers point towards the back of the mat. And then just tune into your breath. So let everything else go. Nothing else is really relevant at this moment. Just focus on your breath. I am breathing in I am breathing out. Perfect. Both hands come down. We're going to walk ourselves back into our hero shape. So sitting hips to heels, bring the knees together, sitting down towards the back of the mat. One more heart opener here. Reach the arms around behind. Either grab opposite elbows or interlace the fingers behind you and squeeze those shoulder blades together. I'm actually going to do reverse ragdoll. So grabbing opposite elbows behind me. Lift up with the head and open the heart here. So your sternum, the middle of your chest, is lifting up. Beautiful. And then from here, wherever you're at, you can keep that reverse ragdoll behind you or interlace the fingers and then just fold down. Bring the forehead to the mat and reach the arms long behind you. Beautiful. Lift back up, pull those hands back up. If you have reverse ragdoll, just take it the opposite way. Otherwise, interlace your fingers the weird way and push those knuckles down as you lift the heart up one more time. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Really peel those shoulders open and back. Feels good. Nice. Shoulders, hips, everything nice and open. Let's come all the way down onto our mats. Bring it all the way down onto your back. Bringing those knees in towards the chest, maybe squiggling a little side to side. Let's find a nice figure four here. Crossing right leg over the left. Wherever feels good for you. Maybe just holding onto the knee and the ankle is enough. Maybe grabbing onto the shin. Perhaps reaching the leg up towards the sky and getting some ankle circles here. So this might feel more accessible than usual. I'm kind of doing a lot of hip opening. Beautiful. Release both feet to the mat. We're going to take a nice, gentle, easy twist. So just letting that right leg float above the left leg comes to the mat. Hands face towards the sky, palms up. You can look over the right shoulder for a deeper stretch or straight up towards the sky. If your mind starts to wander, just draw it back to your mat. It's probably not the time to debate your husband's apparent obsession with screws or whatever's going on your ceiling. That's what's going on mine. Just let your mind be present here on the bottom of your mat, whatever's going on with you here in this moment. Using your hands to gather up your legs. Let's find that figure four on the other side. So crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And then again, if you found those ankle circles to be really nice and juicy, you can certainly do those again. Maybe starting with that and then coming into a little bit deeper. Maybe rocking a little from side to side. Relax your shoulders. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. And then go ahead and bring
the feet to the mat, release the shins, let the legs fall over towards the right. So it's okay if your left hip comes off the mat here. Just try to press towards the mat with the left shoulder. That will square off your body and get you a little deeper into that stretch. Again, you can look out over the left shoulder. You can actually bring hands overhead into happy baby, hands overhead. I think we've all seen a baby sleeping like this. This is a ultimate release kind of a pose. And then slowly starting to head towards whatever pose is going to be your final pose. So it's hot and humid today. So if legs up the wall, if your feet are swollen or your ankles are swollen, legs up the wall is the pose for you. Even if you don't have a wall, maybe just letting the legs float up towards the sky. You can totally wrap up your class like this, or slide over to a wall and use that, or a table, or whatever you need. If you're feeling like, nope, I just need to lay out nice and long, you can extend your legs long down the mat, let the feet fall open. And again, the hands can come either to the heart and the belly if you need a little bit of extra focus. But if you're feeling pretty zen, you can let the hands come down by your side. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. To become more aware of your place on your mat. Starting to bring movement to fingers and toes. Moving towards one side or the other and pausing there. So whatever shape feels right for you. And then eventually working your way up towards your seat, finding your way to Sukhasana, easy pose, or hero pose, or any shape that feels nice for you here. Allow your eyes to close. Let your shoulders be soft. Think about stacking your shoulders over your hips, your head right in between the shoulders, lifting the crown of the head nice and tall. Relax the area between the eyes, maybe even bringing your fingers to the forehead and smoothing out any kind of tension or stress that you might be holding there. Soften the cheekbones, trying to release any tension that might still be lingering. Open and close the jaw, let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Shoulders fall away from the ears. There's a feeling of lift through the spine, but relaxation through the whole torso. So you're lifted and you're steady, but you're not crunched, you're not feeling tense. Posture is very confidence building. Standing up a little bit taller, holding your heart up a little bit higher, tucking your chin ever so slightly. All of those things signal to your fight or flight system to relax. It's all good. There's no threat here. It's kind of the you got this pose. Hands come to heart center if you choose. Maybe bowing your head if you like. Take this feeling of calm and confidence and take it with you through the rest of your day, through your weekend, whatever that weekend may bring to you. Have a fabulous rest of your day, yogis. Namaste.